Hey there, welcome to Journey to KidLit. As always, I'm your host, Brooke Van Sickle, and today we're going to be looking at dual perspectives in picture books. This is something that you might want to try on your own if you have two different characters that you're trying to tell a story about. So to learn how to do this, we're going to be looking at a picture book called Rabbit and Squirrel, A Tale of War and Peas, which is kind of a play on War and Peace. But this book is written by Kara LeReau, and she uses two different characters, Rabbit and Squirrel, to tell you about this little conflict that these two characters are having. So here's how she opens it. Not too long ago, there lived a rabbit named Rabbit. Rabbit was very proud of her garden. She tended her carrots and lettuce with tremendous effort and care. Across the way, there lived a squirrel named Squirrel. Just as Rabbit was proud of her garden, Squirrel was proud of his. He tended his sweet peas and tomatoes with great energy and zeal. So as you can see here, she does a parallel introduction. So first she introduces Rabbit, she tells you the name and what kind of veggies, and then she introduces Squirrel, tells you the name and the same kind of veggies. So it's a parallel, sticks to a very similar rhythm, that way you know what to expect. That's very common for a dual perspective picture book. So if you're wanting to write in two separate characters, that's one way you can do an introduction for both of them. And the reason that Kara chose to do dual perspective is because this is a story about blaming and about how sometimes what you think happened isn't necessarily what happened. And here's how she did that. Though Rabbit and Squirrel lived across the way from each other, they kept to themselves and never offered each other vegetables or even bothered to say hello. Until one day, when Rabbit woke up to find that something awful had happened. Someone had pulled up her crunchiest carrots. Someone had removed her leafiest lettuce. Now in this situation, who do you think Rabbit is going to blame? Of course, Squirrel, right? Because there's only two people in the story. Except for there's obviously a third person. This illustrator has included a hand here, which is enough to give a reader a clue that Rabbit is going to jump to the incorrect conclusion, but it's also to give you a little bit of a hint of what's really happening, gives you behind the scenes look, makes you feel smarter than the main character. All these are fun things, and children really like that. Anyone likes that. Who doesn't like to be smarter than the other person? But that is just a fun way that you could introduce a problem. So obviously, Rabbit has the situation. We know this is a parallel story, so Squirrel's going to have the exact same situation, and that's going to cause a huge blow up. They're going to have a huge fight. And it's kind of a fun way to tell a message in this situation, the blame game. So it's a way to explain that sometimes you don't have all the answers, and sometimes you have to ask questions, don't jump to conclusions, and it's not always the way it appears in your head. So that's just kind of a fun way that you can include two separate characters in your own picture books. If you'd like to learn more writing tips, be sure to visit journeytokidlit.com. And if you'd like to read the complete book of Rabbit and Squirrel, I have a link for it in the bottom of the video for you. And as always, I hope you subscribe to our channel. We post new videos every week. Until next time, happy writing!